Hey everybody, it's Christy, and I wanted to tell you about an online event that is coming up just in about a week or so from the time that I'm saying this on January the 6th, Saturday, January the 6th, 2024. And this online event is my painted paper collage online workshop, get-together, event, hangout. We're going to have a little creative time together on Saturday in the form of 2 live chats on a special Facebook group that I will create just for this event. And the way that works is I have 2 live chats. And during the live chat, you get to text and not text, but write and ask questions and interact. I read and chat and interact with those while I do a demo of the particular thing we're doing. In this case, creating painted papers and then cutting and ripping them into simple and enjoyable collages. All right, so using Facebook group allows me to take the videos of the live chats and save them so that you always have access to them. They'll be saved in YouTube in an unlisted area that you can always access from the group, which means that if you can be there during the event, great. If you have to leave or you can only watch part of it or you can't be there at all, doesn't matter. You can sign up and then you can access those videos of the live chat anytime, and you can see how we did it and play along. And then the groups themselves stay active for as long as people want to chat and show what they're making and ask questions, that sort of thing. My experience is I let everybody in the group a day or 2 before. We have our event, and it stays active for at least a week or 2, and sometimes longer afterwards. So that's how that works, okay? I have found the Facebook groups to be the most comfortably interactive for the most amount of people in my group that likes to do these things with me, so they can post pictures, answer and respond, and follow up, as well as the live chats. It's very comfortable and intuitive interaction. So it works out great. So what are we going to do? And why do you want to do it? You might be thinking, I don't need another hobby. I've got more than I can handle. I have projects I haven't even finished yet. I know. But part of the fun of being a creative is not having to do what you're told, not having to follow the rules. You don't have to do your homework, and you can just do whatever you feel like when you want to. Now, how much of that in our lives is there really? So if you're creative, you get to tap into that all the time. So I say, why not experiment a little with something else, and you might find that you like it. Many of you have already done collages, or you've played with paint and paper and cuts and scissors and glues, and so you already know you kind of like it. And why not have a day with a couple of hours set aside where you can just explore that with some crafty friends? So the 2 live chats will be at 7 a.m. Hawaii time, which is 9 o'clock Pacific time, and then extrapolate thereafter. And then we follow that one up. That'll last about an hour or so. And then at 10 o'clock Hawaii time, we'll have the second of our live chats. So if you want to check out more information about that, just go to the description. There'll be a link directly to my website where you can sign up for the class. Okay? If you're watching this after the class has already happened, just message me. We might have another one coming up, or you may decide you want to join anyway, even though it's over, just so you can access the information. It's all good. So just let me know and I'll help you out. Okay? So let's take a little quick look at a few of the things that I'll be covering so you can see if it amuses you. And then, of course, just go check that description and zip on over and sign up. All right? All right, let's look. First of all, let's take a quick little look at a few of the painted paper collages that I've done recently, just to give you an idea of which direction we're headed in. As you can see, I like nature themes. You could do whatever you wanted, but I just wanted you to notice that they're simple and easy. And the painted paper makes very interesting and wonderful to look at designs, I think. So now let's look just really briefly at some of the kinds of painted paper effects we're going to play with in this class. Here's just a few little samplings. So these are on dark papers, and as you can see, the technique is going to be a lot of using different kinds of paint applications to get a variety of different kinds of colors very in small spaces so that they can be cut and used easily, as well as a couple of tricks for making some more textured kind of feel. Those are on dark papers, on light papers. Again, we're going to use acrylics. I'll talk about that in a second. Mostly for large, thick coverages, or even something more watercolory or pressing, like these are pressed in with some leaves. Sky's the limit. We also can play with just bits of colored sample paper. So this is the wallpaper, the paint chip paper. And I'm not suggesting you run down to your hardware store and clean them out, but a lot of the larger hardware stores have quite a lot. And I think if you were, nice and just got a couple, that could also be a very fun kind of paper to play with, because as you can see, it rips ever so nicely, which we'll explore a bit. The end result, of course, is being that we will create something, and this is the beginnings of one, where I'm using bits and pieces of all these lovely things that we've painted to create the collage. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. So I would love for you to join me, because it's simple, it's easy, but it's fun to have kind of a little bit of kind of creative nudges along the way so that you can start off on this easily. So let's take a look at what do you need to have around paper. Now, if you just have construction paper, typing paper, scrap paper, that's fine. All of that can work. I like to use just a little bit better quality paper because it's easier to paint on and I like it better, but that's just me. You can do whatever you like. Any kind of mixed media paper that's a little thicker is fantastic. Bristlepboard is one of my favorites. You can find these at most places that sell craft supplies, or just find some little heavier weight cardstock paper. I have some dark cardstock paper that I'm using as well. Then you'll want to have brushes and paint. So any collection of brushes, if you look in the description here on this video, just go to the description part and you'll see a link for my Amazon influencer page. I have a link there so you can see there's a set here of these very inexpensive brushes that are wonderful. I think it's like a set of 10 or a dozen, and I've bought them over and over again because I use them all the time. This is kind of an assortment of acrylics. You probably have some lying around. Any brand will work. I love Liquitex, but it doesn't really matter. A lot of you will have this left over from some wooden craft kind of applications. These are just different kinds of art things, even metallic. So any kind of acrylic paint is going to work great. Can you do it with watercolors? Of course. I'm going to be using acrylic paint in the class itself because that's what I want to show you specifically. But you can experiment and see. It's all about having fun. And then finally, a glue. Eileen's all-purpose craft glue is great. Elmer's makes an all-purpose craft glue. Some kind of scissors. I have multiple scissors floating around. These are the ones that are my go-to, but I also have my little Chickamauga scissors, which I love. Again, links on my Amazon page for all of this. And then some way to put the glue on. You can use your fingers, but this is like a little makeup type brush with just a little fuzzy, and they come in big old packs. You can get them easily, or Q-tips or something like that. Having a handful of those will let us rub the glue on without it getting all over our fingers, okay? And that's it. That's all we're going to need to begin creating. Again, this is the very simplest beginning. If we're going to just do some cutouts, simple cutouts, some ripped bits, and turn it into a collage. It's fun. It's easy. I think you're going to love it. So there's just a little teaser of the kind of things we'll be doing together. And of course, the fun of these events is that whether you're in person or you're watching afterwards, you get the back and forth of the chatting as we're doing it, with questions being asked and answered and other ideas popping up as we go along. I think it's a wonderful little thing to play with. These can be journal covers, or you could just have a little sketchbook where all you do is some collage things, or you could turn it into its own art form. I like to use them sometimes as a background for other sculptural pieces that I put in front. It's just fun, right? And what I find the best for playing with this painted and cut paper collage is a lot of times at the end of a work day, you have kind of the itch to do something creative, but you have very little energy, right? So you have your papers laying there, you got your paints, and you're just making some painted patterns, doing some of the things we learned to do in our little time together. And it's just a wonderful release of some creative energy that's comfortable, and it doesn't have to be anything, because later you'll be able to look at the things you did and make something out of them. But in the meantime, you get just that little bit of a creative fun. So anyway, I hope you will join me January the 6th, 2024 for this fun event. Please share this with anyone you know that is creative that you think might enjoy joining us for this, because I'd love to have as many of you as possible enjoying this little fun bit together. Okay? Thanks. I hope I'll see you there. Bye. Happy creating.